Namaste, and a very warm welcome to Kognito Key. I'm so thrilled to have you here today. Have you ever stopped to wonder why our workplaces are structured exactly the way they are? Like, who actually came up with the rules we all work by? Well, in today's explainer, we're going right back to the roots. We're going to decode how early management theories literally built the foundation of the modern workplace. We'll be looking at this fascinating concept called the machine metaphor in business. So make yourselves comfortable and let's get started. Let me start by asking you a really simple but honestly super relatable question. Have you ever felt like a machine at work? Like you're just this tiny gear turning endlessly inside a massive corporate engine? It's a really common feeling. And okay, let's dive into this, because that feeling actually has a very specific, historical, and totally scientific root that completely changed the business world forever. So to really understand this, we need to look at something called scientific management theory. Basically, this is the application of strict engineering science directly to the production floor. The goal? To maximize the efficiency of every single individual worker. And the brain, the brilliant, but let's be real, sometimes controversial brain behind this, was a man named Frederick Winslow Taylor. In fact, his influence was so massive that this whole school of thought is just famously known as Taylorism. See, Taylor didn't think management was some intuitive art. No, he fundamentally believed it was an exact, measurable science. Now, Taylorism focuses heavily on the production floor, the operating levels. These are places where tasks are highly repetitive and cyclical in nature. The core assumption here is pretty straightforward. Maximum efficiency comes from pure repetition. So workers are assigned a bunch of closely related, repeated actions to perform daily. But the crucial key here, these activities do not require the worker to exercise complex problem solving. Zero. It's all about standardizing the working methods so perfectly that the entire process just runs flawlessly. Literally, exactly like a well-oiled machine. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is Taylor's very first major principle, which was totally revolutionary for its time. He believed in strictly separating the planning from the doing. Before Taylorism came along, a skilled craftsman would plan out his own work and then execute it himself. But Taylor said, actually, scratch that. That is highly inefficient. He argued that managers and engineers should do all the planning, all the thinking, all the optimizing. And the workers on the floor? Well, they're simply there to blindly execute that plan. They just do the doing. This was a massive structural shift in how human labor was viewed. Which brings us to a rather scary number, 8. This represents a very unique framework Taylor came up with called functional foremanship. Just imagine this for a second. Instead of having one general manager to report to, you have exactly 8 different specialized supervisors giving you constant directions and instructions for different parts of your job. One for speed, one for inspection, one for repair, and so on. Just imagine the absolute nightmare of having exactly 8 different bosses breathing down your neck all day today. But in Taylor's purely scientific view, this was the ultimate way to make sure every single detail was supervised by an absolute expert. So to make these literal gears of the machine actually turn, Taylor introduced time, motion, and fatigue studies. We're talking about calculating work down to the exact second. He completely stripped away human variation by standardizing all tools and working conditions. Then, workers were scientifically selected and trained to perfectly match these physical tasks. And the driving force? Strict financial incentives. Hit your scientific targets and you get paid more. It was a complete end-to-end system designed to systematically engineer productivity right out of human labor. But of course, viewing humans merely as mechanical gears has a pretty huge downside. And this brilliantly illustrates the major drawback of the whole theory. Under Taylorism, human beings were just considered as adjuncts to machines in the performance of routine tasks. The theory focused almost entirely on mechanization, automation, and technical efficiency. It completely bypassed the broader psychological complexities of actual human behavior and motivation in an organization. The worker was essentially reduced to being just an extension of the physical tool they were holding. So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought today. Does Taylorism still power today's workplaces? Think about it. Think about modern warehouses, those algorithmic management apps, or the intense digital tracking of employee keystrokes and productivity metrics. Sure, we might not have 8 foremen physically standing over us on a factory floor anymore, but you really have to ask yourself, does our modern obsession with intense efficiency and standardization still treat human workers like mere machines? It's definitely something profound to ponder the next time you log in for work. Thank you so much for exploring this deeply fascinating topic with me today. If you enjoyed this explainer and want to keep unlocking the incredible secrets of business, history, and beyond, please hit that subscribe button to join our community right here at Kognito Key. Also, please don't forget to like this explainer and share it with a friend, a student, or a colleague who might find it valuable. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and take very good care of yourselves.